Welcome to the Sports Side, Hornets. I'm Noah Boyce.
And I'm Noah Morales. This week we cover the boys cross country team, the Saline vs. Lake Orion football game, and a senior Ava Mitton in addition of Player Profile.
All of this and more on the season premiere of
Hornet Nation.
On October 17th, Saline's boys and girls cross-country team squared off against the SEC at Huron Mills. Both teams came out as SEC Red champions.
Grayson Sloan and Peyton Whitaker were able to sit down with Coach Spina and one of the top runners to talk about the season and what's next.
Cross-country regionals are approaching, and it's an exciting time for the Saline Hornets. Coach Carl Spina gives us an insight into how his team has prepared for this big event.
I'd say with the 3 championship meets for us, we have the SEC conference, we have the regional championships and the state championships, and the whole season, the whole year for us is really preparing for those 3 big meets and trying to be ready to compete at these 3 things to get these things right. So not much changes when we go into the regional championships other than there's that stress and knowledge of there's trophies and outcomes that determine do we get to go on to the state finals or not, and all region individual titles that come out of that. So not much really changes for us other than that stress.
We also got a chance to speak with William Rosales, one of Saline's top cross-country runners.
This year I feel I've had some ups and downs. I've sustained some injuries, so that's brought me some setbacks. But other than that, I feel like I've helped push my teammates to be better and be faster. And overall, it was a pretty good season, I'd say.
It's clear that regionals is hot on the radar of the boys cross-country team. But now that we know how the team is prepared for regionals, it's time to see how they are feeling heading into the competition.
This year, the regional meet, it's super exciting because, there's mitten-shaped trophies. We get excited about winning those. It's a big deal for every program. And right now, I hate to curse us, but we're pretty heavily favored going into this race. We have a lot of depth, and we have a lot of kids that, even if something goes wrong with one of our top 5, like Jack Klein, maybe he, falls down and doesn't finish the race. Our backup guys in the race, our 6 and 7, are so strong that, it's a lot of fun looking forward to the race because we're primed to do very well there.
The Hornets have outperformed themselves this season, being ranked number 1 in the state coming to the regionals. At the time of this recording, they will attend the regional competition on October 26th, and we wish them the absolute best of luck and wish them a fantastic season in the fall of 2025. I'm Grayson Sloan, reporting for Hornet Nation. Back to you in the studio.
The boys and girls varsity and JV teams won regionals on October 26th. States will be held at the Michigan International Speedway on November 2nd.
After having to forfeit the first 3 games of the season, Saline rallied back to win 5 straight, outscoring opponents 250-31. Last Friday, Saline traveled to Lake Orion to play their final regular season game of the year.
We hand it off to Cody Stedman with this edition of Game of the Week.
Welcome to Dragon Territory, Hornets. This is the final game of our regular season. Today, we face off against the Lake Orion Dragons. Let's see how this game's gonna play out in this edition of Game of the Week.
The first quarter started off slow, with both sides coming up empty on the first 2 possessions. But in the second quarter, Lake Orion completed a 10-yard touchdown pass and converted an extra point to put the Dragons on the board. Lake Orion broke off a 36-yard run late in the half, but their last-second field goal attempt was no good, leaving the score at halftime, Lake Orion 7 to Saline 0. The third quarter stayed silent, with both defenses making big plays, but in the fourth, Lake Orion intercepted a Saline pass in the end zone, and the Dragons were on the verge of breaking Saline's win streak. But Saline was able to come back swinging. Junior quarterback Tommy Carr hooks up with tight end Lincoln Keys for an 80-yard touchdown late in the game. Instead of going for the tie, Coach Short elected to go for the 2-point conversion, which was successful on another Cars to Keys connection, sealing the victory. Even though he made the big play, Lincoln Keys doesn't credit himself for the comeback.
I mean, honestly, that just goes out to my defense. I mean, they made stop after stop after stop, and offense was sloppy all game. We had plays connecting, we didn't do that. Missed assignments, including myself and the whole team. So it came down to that last drive, and that's what won us the game.
With this win, Saline is now 6-3, according to the MHSAA. Starting on Friday, November 1st, Saline officially starts their road to the state title. Reporting for Hornet Nation, I'm Cody Stedman. Back to you in the studio.
After finishing out the season strong with a 6-3 record, Team 122 will enter the postseason to play against Northville this Friday, 7 p.m. at Tom Holliser Football Field.
One of the best parts of going to a football game is hearing the roar of the crowd. No one knows how to create a thrilling atmosphere quite like the cheer squad.
Today, we tumble into this edition of Player Profile, starring senior cheerleader Ava Mitton with Bowie Thompson.
When the football team needs encouragement, we in the student section turn to the cheerleaders to keep everybody energized. From simple cheers to tricks and tumbles, Ava Mitton has the insight about what it's like to be down on the field cheering with her teammates.
Being around the people and the things that we're working together for to create things, because people underestimate how difficult, especially stunting and tumbling can be. And so getting to show off those new skills, like whether it's during sideline or competitive cheer, I just love showing off what we've learned and worked so hard for.
Despite her affection for sideline cheer, it's actually not considered a varsity sport.
So sideline is technically not an MHSAA sport, but we cheer for football, and we're mostly learning chants together and working on tumbling and stunting. But then competitive cheer is against other teams around the state.
On the surface, both versions of the sport may look the same, but competitive cheer has more complex processes and scoring behind it.
We have 3 different rounds, and each one has different things that we're like graded on, I guess. And so we use sideline as a longer season for competitive. So it's still a season for us, but it's more of a time to get the team together, to teach the new people how cheer works and how stunting works, especially because stunting takes the longest to learn for a competitive season.
Although football is nearly over, the cheerleaders are far from done. Going into the winter, they start their official competitive cheer season. Stay tuned for more of Ava and the team as they navigate their way through a tough SEC schedule. Reporting for Hornet Nation, I'm Bowie Thompson. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Bowie. As she said, the girls will have a tough schedule with meets like the SEC Conference meet on January 16th at Monroe and the Westland Invite on January 18th at Westland John Glenn High School.
That's all for this show. Tune in next week for a Coach's Corner with the varsity football coach, a player profile with Saman Mashinchi, and an In Their Shoes on the tennis court.
Be sure to follow @Saline Video on Instagram and YouTube for show updates and behind-the-scenes content.
Have
a great day, Hornets!